By 1982, a former BMX artist had turned garage sketches into an empire, selling tens of thousands of number plates and launching the world's first freestyle team. Without Bob Haro, there would be no trick team, no flying banana, and maybe no legends at all. But how did one rider's vision explode into a movement that redefined what BMX could be? Bob Haro grew up in San Diego, the oldest of four, with a head full of drawings and a garage full of bikes. By the late 1970s, after winning more than 50 motocross trophies, he found himself priced out of dirt bikes and looking for a new outlet. BMX racing filled the gap, but Haro's real edge was his knack for design. At 18, he started screen printing custom number plates in his parents' garage, bold, graphic, and unmistakably different from anything else on the track. Orders came in by mail and through local shops. Within a few years, tens of thousands of Haro plates had shipped, all self-funded, every dollar turned back into the next batch of materials. Haro's art did not just stick to plates. He sent cartoon strips and technical drawings to BMX Action magazine and became their staff artist. His illustrations filled the pages with new tricks, logos, and ads, giving readers a taste of what freestyle could be. The real breakthrough came in 1978. Teaming with R.L. Osborne, Haro formed what is now recognized as the first freestyle BMX team. Their debut at the ABA Winter Nationals in Chandler, Arizona was not a race. It was a show, flatland tricks, ramp stunts, and a format built for the crowd, not the stopwatch. These demos proved that BMX could be more than competition, it could be performance too. As skate parks started closing, Haro and his crew built their own ramps, portable quarter pipes, and wedges, loading them into vans and touring the country. The BMX Action Trick team became a fixture at races, bike shops, and county fairs from California to Canada. Each show followed a set routine, matching uniforms, a public address system, and a sequence of tricks that turned freestyle into a bookable act. Promoters saw the crowds, bike shops saw the sales, sponsors saw a new kind of rider. Through these tours, Haro transformed freestyle from a backyard pastime into a repeatable business. In 1981, he took the next leap. Haro designed the first frame and fork built specifically for freestyle, with twin top tubes, reinforced dropouts, thick tubing, and space for standing tricks. He partnered with Torker, a California manufacturer, to produce the Haro Freestyler. Launched in 1982, it was the first purpose-built freestyle bike available at scale. With this, Haro's operation shifted from a garage business to a full-fledged brand. The Freestyler was not just a product, it was proof that freestyle had its own identity, hardware, and future. By building the platform, plates, teams, demos, and frames, Haro gave the next generation of riders a stage and set the commercial groundwork for everything that followed. Eddie Fiola never needed a spotlight to stand out. He brought his own in the shape of a bright yellow helmet, matching jersey, and a bike painted to match a look that earned him the nickname the Flying Banana. By the mid-1980s, Fiola's yellow kit was a fixture at every major freestyle event, impossible to miss on the contest floor or in the pages of BMX Action. But it was not just the color that caught people's attention, it was how he moved. Where early freestyle was all about showing what the bike could do, Fiola made the rider the main event. He treated the flatland and the park as a stage, stringing tricks together in long, flowing lines. Wheelies glided into bar spins, manuals melted into smooth 360s, each move choreographed with the kind of rhythm you would expect from a dancer, not a dirt jumper. His signature routines did not just rack up points, they drew cheers. Fiola's style was about control and creativity, not just raw power. He would pause on the front pegs, balancing perfectly, then launch into a tail whip with a grin that made the trick look effortless. This approach changed how people thought about BMX. For the first time, freestyle was not just about beating the clock or landing the hardest move, it was about putting on a show. Fiola's performances blurred the line between athlete and entertainer. Crowds came for the tricks, but they stayed for the spectacle. His routines could fill a stadium, but they played just as well in a parking lot, drawing in new fans who had never seen BMX as anything but a backyard hobby. With each contest, Fiola's reputation grew. He dominated flatland and park events, pushing other riders to think beyond the old formulas. His influence showed up in the next wave of freestyle. Riders started painting their bikes, crafting their own looks, and building routines that told a story. Sponsors noticed too. Fiola became one of the first BMX freestylers to cross over into mainstream media, landing magazine covers and television spots that reached far beyond the core scene. By turning each run into a performance, Eddie Fiola helped BMX freestyle find its voice. He proved that a trick could be more than a stunt, it could be a statement. Through his yellow gear and signature style, he set a new standard for what it meant to ride with personality, opening the door for BMX to become a true performance art. Ron Wilkerson didn't just ride contests, he redefined what it meant to win them. In the early 1980s, as freestyle BMX was still finding its shape, Wilkerson's routine set a new bar for what counted in competition. Instead of just impressing the crowd, riders now had to impress the judges. Wilkerson's runs were measured not just by the tricks themselves, but by how they were performed. Style, difficulty, and execution became the new language of scoring. A run packed with technical moves meant little if it wasn't clean or creative. Judges started looking for riders who could blend power with flow, pushing the limits while making it look effortless. This shift didn't happen by accident. Wilkerson's own performances made it impossible to ignore the need for structure. In the mid-1980s, he delivered lines that were both aggressive and precise, with fast airs, crisp landings, and flawless transitions. Every trick fit into a larger sequence, building energy and keeping the audience locked in. His consistency forced organizers to codify what they were seeing. By the time the American Freestyle Association began formalizing contest rules, the style, difficulty, and execution rubric had become the standard. Wilkerson's influence could be seen on every score sheet. Sponsors noticed the change. With clear rules and repeatable judging, freestyle events became more than just exhibitions. They became serious competitions with points, rankings, and real stakes. Brands lined up to back riders who could deliver under pressure, knowing that a contest win now meant national exposure. Wilkerson's dominance wasn't just about personal glory. It established a benchmark that every new rider had to chase. The structure he inspired turned freestyle into a measurable sport, raising the bar for what was possible on a BMX bike and setting the stage for the next wave of progression. Matt Hoffman didn't wait for the sport to come to him. In Oklahoma, surrounded by flat land and open sky, he started building ramps in his backyard, first with plywood and borrowed lumber, then with every upgrade he could imagine. These weren't just for practice, they were experiments, each ramp a little bigger, a little steeper, chasing the feeling of pure flight. While most riders were still thinking in terms of contest routines, Hoffman was thinking about altitude. By the late 1980s, he was going higher than anyone had dared. His signature move was simple to describe and nearly impossible to copy. Launch above the coping, keep going, and hang in the air longer than seemed possible. Eyewitnesses at those early sessions describe Hoffman blasting well past the 15-foot mark, then pushing toward heights that made even seasoned pros stop and stare. The nickname Condor stuck for a reason. He soared above the ramp, silhouetted against the sun, sometimes 20 feet or more above the lip. There were no official measurements at first, just a collective gasp from anyone watching. Hoffman's approach was part science, part stubbornness. He rebuilt ramps after each collapse, tweaking the radius, reinforcing the structure, hauling sheets of plywood with friends until the setup could handle the speed and force he needed. The result was a new kind of riding, one that made the ramp itself into a launch pad for spectacle. The risks grew with the heights. Broken bikes, broken bones, and more than one trip to the hospital became part of the routine. But the payoff was undeniable. Hoffman's airs redefined what BMX could be, transforming vert riding from a sideshow into the centerpiece of extreme sports. His influence set the trajectory for the X Games era, where going higher wasn't just the goal, it was the expectation. BMX's original visionaries redefined what a bike and a rider could do. Today, millions worldwide still build, ride, and dream on the foundations they poured. The culture they sparked keeps evolving trick by trick. The next legend could be watching, waiting, or already out there, wheels spinning. Thanks for watching.